Hello? Honey, I'm home. Yeah, I'm sorry about that. I can't remember the filter I had. Oh, there we are, I think. Um, so yeah, I again, I forgot to make it members only again. I was kind of rushing to get my data and get back. So yeah, so we'll be back for about 15, 20 minutes. I didn't mean to cut off so early. So any questions that I didn't get to, feel free to post here. But yeah, it is members only. But it's nice to see you. It's very nice to see you. I will do. um, we'll have a non members or everybody stream for everybody. Pretty soon. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Yes, I will try to update. I know I'm not great at that right now. Um, but yeah, it's nice to see you. Yeah, if you can remember the questions, I'm so sorry. Yeah, I've actually been putting like monthly packages on here, and I'm already on my third one, and I've been here for just over 2 weeks. So I think I'm getting a monthly package every week for this. But actually, it's not that expensive. It's not as much as I thought it would be anyway. So, Jasmine, did the Akashic records change? Remember last year I tapped in to it where he said he left her. So that's gone and their marriage is permanent now. Okay, so yes, so the Akashic records are unwritten, the unwritten path. So like, if you look back, you can see the paths that you took, if that makes sense. But when you look forward to the Akashic records, there's different paths. Like there's always predetermined. So try very hard to explain this. I've written an article about this, how there are some predetermined events, but how we get to each of those points, we have like free will. So you will always gravitate to those points that are predetermined, but there's free will in between them. And yeah, so that really can change. And the path that is most prominent to you, most likely that you will take, is based on your energy, your vibration, the decisions that you currently make. So for people who live very mundane lives, always doing the same kind of thing, they will have very few paths on their records. But people who are always spontaneous and being very random tend to have a few more options open, you know? So yes, I would certainly say that they've changed um, on your path. But in regards to this situation, it's his fault, you know? There's things that are more prominent to you now because it's better for you. It's better for your soul, your energy, your mental health, and things like that to go onto this new path and to have these new experiences and meet someone who is ready, who's like at your level, if you will, not someone who's constantly indecisive and can't make up their mind. As good as the connection could be, as strong as, as good as the emotions or the attraction or anything like that. Rain, hello, welcome back. Carolyn, Melly blocked you. Is he getting closer to being more open to me about his feelings? Okay. Yes, I guess a yes on that. Jan, is she going to learn her lesson and stop being a pick me, trying to get the guys who have feelings for another girl? I just don't want another girl to be put through what she put me through. I feel like there is a selfish energy in it, and in this, like, I suppose, like the pick me kind of sense that you're talking about, where her mind is focused on her and the person. It's There is a disregard for you, but it's not intentionally to hurt you, if that makes sense. So in terms of that, um, I don't necessarily feel learning any kind of lesson around that anytime soon. But I do feel like it's kind of a tunnel vision, selfish kind of focus, but not with. it's not like cruel intentions. It's not like trying to purposely to rob your boyfriend to like um to be better than you or anything like that. So yeah, there's still a lesson to be learned in that, of course. You know, there's still a selfish energy in that. There's still a kind of me kind of energy in there. But yeah, so yeah, I would say yes at some point, but I don't feel like anytime soon. Rain, you cut off right when you were about to answer this question, but what was it for the best that I never met Yuto after he came back? I think you're about to finish saying yes, but just confirming. Yes. So sorry if that's where where I cut off. I'm sorry, but yes, I do get yes with that. Miss Venus, when am I meeting a new soulmate person? I've been more skeptical about the soulmate label. They've been not great long-term potentials in the past. Yeah, and it's difficult because of like our matching vibration, you know, to really have that, to find that right person who's connected with your soul in that way. It is a lot about where you're at, and if you're someone who's consistently leveling up, you might find that it's difficult to have a long-term relationship, or because you'll meet someone at that level, but for people like us, we don't only need someone at that level. We need someone who's at that level right now and still growing, just as we are, you know? Because you meet someone at that level right now, but then you still grow and they don't. And then there's someone else at that level, and then there's someone else at that level, you know? So it's really mainly about, like, I would prefer to find someone who's still growing and still working on themselves than someone that's at my level right now, you know? So yeah, it's definitely difficult. I can understand the losing faith in it a little bit, you know? I can definitely understand that. But the question, sorry, is the timing. Okay, let's check. Yeah, I feel like end of April. End of April. So I don't know if that's shifting slightly when we check, but end of April comes through. Maya, my ex friend, does my ex friend have feelings for me? Okay. Get a no on that. Oliver, does Oliver have feelings for me? Okay. Get a yes on that one. Jan, I feel like with M, it wasn't even a draw. It was an obsession to have something that isn't hers. She first had a go at him and tried flirting when we were dating. She knew he was taken too because Drew told her, but she still tries. And Kaizen initially was like, WTF? You know. Yeah, so, yeah, so the selfish energy, you know, it definitely does come through. Yeah, please do like the video. I greatly appreciate that. I greatly appreciate that. Thank you. Um, so Jasmine, why in the world would he be hurt over the messages I sent him when I've been begging and chasing him this entire time, and all he's done is block and let me feel like I mean nothing? Yeah, because I feel more like it's overwhelmed than hurt, but I feel kind of like, you know, there's still emotion to that. So even if you completely don't want somebody, you just don't want them, you're very clear about the fact that you don't want them, when they're expressing their feelings and they're being quite authentic and genuine and, you know, trying their luck, if you will, you know, you do still feel for that, you know? Even when you're completely not into it, you still do feel, you know, kind of, I don't know, sorry for them, I guess is the right way to say it. So with that, you know, this is a connection where it's not like he totally didn't want you, he totally wanted nothing to do with you. So of course there's going to be some emotion there, you know. Miss Venus, what would be the intention for Twin Flame to possibly reach out within these 3 months? The intention. Okay. just try again. Repeat the cycle. We'll get it right one time. Maya, do you see me working as a software developer soon? Okay. Yes. I guess a yes on that. Rain says, is Colin bisexual? It wouldn't matter to me. I wanted to make him feel comfortable if he is. Okay. Actually, I do get a yes on that. It definitely seems unbalanced. Definitely seems like there's much more female attraction than male, but yes, I would say yes. My my friend Pay. I don't know. I don't want to say Pie. Is that their name? Um, is a psychopath. A psychopath. Okay. Oh, dangerous. Let's check. Guess a no on that. Luckily, fortunately. Miss Venus. Um, yeah. So if something, so again, I made the mistake of not making it members only at the beginning. So whatever filter I have on for the messaging, it's supposed to cut out um, non-paid messages. So members' messages are supposed to be included in paid messages. But I can already see here, I can see just a normal person messaging who isn't a member. So um, I don't know. I'm sorry. I did it wrong again. Apologies. What did the guy think of me when he saw me and we were introduced? It was initially missed. Okay. So what did he think of you? Okay. I would say just attracted is coming through, like really attracted. That's the main thing that's coming through. Of course, it's very physical, but I guess if it's first meeting, that's okay. Um, Thank you. I've had a lot of compliments on my eyes lately. They're the same eyes I always had. But thank you, I appreciate that. Rain says, I was so broken up about Yuto recently for leaving without saying a word to me. But you help me feel better. If he doesn't care, why should I? Finally feel closure. Thank you so much. Yeah, and it's, of course, you can get readings, you can get insights, and but it's never going to be something that's like, it just goes like that. But I do feel like the way he is, the way his energy is, it does remind me of experiences that I've had, which is why I kind of gave that, like, my own personal opinion in that. But it just reminds me. It reminds me so much, and it's like he definitely had feelings and attraction, but once he went on to the next thing, he's kind of just lost that. Whereas I feel sometimes like we can be a bit more emotional in like a because we're empaths and all of that, and very understanding, open people. And not everybody is quite like us. Um, Maya says, is Oliver a narcissist? Okay. And I guess a no on that. So that's good. Jan says him being indecisive is precisely why I'm concerned with him. Part of me just feels like after he starts meeting others, he's going to compare, sorry, and realize he won't find what we had that point after he starts regretting and wanting to come back and works up the courage. It'll be too late because I'll probably be with D by then. Yeah, but that's another thing. It's like we can't just bank on that happening. We can't just bank on, they'll think about me and regret and come back. It's like you also do have to think about yourself. Are you willing to wait for that? Do you want to wait for that? Especially with someone who's had that energy and been in that energy in hesitation, indecisive energy for so long. You know, it's like I I understand because again, as I always say, I check, I look, I feel the energy, I get where you're coming from with these things, but it's also about you. Like you always need a cut-off point in these situations where you allow yourself to wait until that point, and if there's no improvement, nothing happens by that point, we do need to stay true to ourselves and move on, because you can't wait forever, and you know it's not going to. If they don't, if you know, maybe he'll be in that indecisive energy forever. Maybe he'll die alone. You know, you don't know. Um, so you know, it's better for you to focus on the moving forward, even if it does happen. Even if eventually he does come back and you break up with G and you get back with him. You know, so be it. So be it. But have your life and your experiences before that, and not just waiting around. You know. Rain says, "What does Colin find attractive about me?" Okay. There's definitely a holistic energy in terms of your like physicality, if you will. Being very attracted to just the way you are, your style, your look, you know, your features, everything. Definitely a nice physical attraction. Carolyn, please don't forget to like the live. Thank you. I appreciate that. Pooja, does my friend Ashish, sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong, have some sort of liking for me? Okay. Yes, I guess a yes on that. So is P a sociopath? Okay. For Maya. I guess a no. I guess a no. Miss Venus, do you see the twin flame working on himself some more soon to finally regulate his nervous system and get off that cycle so he can stay? I would say no. To me, that energy is rarely deflated because, again, it felt like he was in that space and then he didn't end up being taking fully embodying that energy that was available to him, you know? So I would say no at this point. Maybe just with how things are right now, I myself am a little bit hopeless, feeling hopeless with him. Happy to keep a check on that, you know, but I would say no at this stage. Jasmine, so who's on the highest path that you speak of? Is it D or someone else that has come into my awareness, or someone who hasn't come into my awareness? Okay. So I would say someone who has not at this moment, yes. Pooja, what were N's last thoughts about me? I'm not getting anything for that, I'm really sorry to say. Maybe it's just because it's quite a while away. Um, Jan, yes, that incident was in 2022, was when she tried flirting with him, being taken, knowingly being taken. So, way prior to her re-emerging after his grandfather passed, she's been trying for years. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Actually, that makes a lot of sense with how difficult the energy is to release. If you try for that long, there's that kind of I guess it's like the sunk cost fallacy, you know? It's like, I've put this much time and effort into this, I'm not going to give up now, even when it's actually the better option. Miss Venus, is the guy I was introduced to going to reach out to me, or is that not likely to go anywhere? Okay. Sorry, just uncomfortable. Yeah, so at the moment, it feels kind of I don't feel like there's no possibility, but it feels a bit low. So we can keep a check on that, but it feels a bit low right now. Sunlight, hello. Um, Rain, would it make Colin feel safer if I mentioned my bisexuality? I'm also mostly into men. or would it make him think I'm less interested than I am? I definitely feel like it would be a comfort, if it come up in a conversation, if you were having that kind of conversation, I would say yeah, it would definitely be a comfort. So that's nice. Jan, lately I've been reflecting on past relationships and came to the conclusion that I don't think I truly loved someone until I was with Kaden like I thought I did at the time. Love the people I was with. But looking back, I don't think it was true love. Why am I starting to have these realizations? To me, that really feels like it's the difficulty in disconnecting from Caden. Again, it's similar. It's like I guess it's like that sunk cost fallacy. It's like you put so much time and effort into trying to make this connection work, trying to have this connection, but you know, it's yeah, I feel kind of like it's difficult to like, and it will be, and you have your emotions are real, it's difficult to let go, but I feel like, you know he's the last person and he's that person that you're kind of still thinking of. If it was someone else, I feel like you may feel the same. I feel like you might have the same kind of idea that was the kind of love, and other people didn't really matter. I feel like it is a little bit more to do with that, but you know, it's difficult. Moving on, getting over people, it's always difficult. Give yourself self care and space and time, and just be kind to yourself as you go through the process. Rain, I met Colin through our mutual friend Hitomi, and she says she only sees him as a little brother. But is that true? I hope my pursuing my attraction to Colin doesn't hurt our friendship. Yes, I don't really feel much of an impact to the friendship with that at all. So that's nice. Miss Venus, just to try to understand this dynamic, what is accelerating and amplifying the feeling of regret from Twin Flame this time around? It's interesting because in the past it's taken a while for it to set in. Okay. I feel more like it has to do with the amount of time she's going through it. I feel like probably every time he goes through it, it's going to come up quicker. I get what you're saying. It is pretty quick, but I feel like most of it is because I do feel like every cycle it will get quicker. But I say every cycle like you're going to do it again. But if you do, but also I feel kind of as well that it's like the amount of contemplation on it and thinking about it, like kind of making the decision to disconnect again before really being confirmed that that's what he really wants, So that comes with a lot of contemplation and again, the didn't I do the right thing kind of energy. Um, so yeah, I feel like in the past when he's kind of disconnected, he's been more actually decided that that's what he wanted, and I feel like he's not really, you know, there. I feel like there's kind of um, indecision like straight away. Um, Garson, hello and welcome. Sorry, this is members only. Rain, what is he attracted to about me? About my personality wise. About you personality wise. Okay. So the main thing that comes through is really like it's like light-hearted, like kind of bright, like humorous kind of energy. Like maybe there's a bit of a connection with the inner children, there because it seems like kind of feeling like you're kind of light-hearted and fun, you know, kind of yeah, light-hearted. Rain, I kind of assume guys are less into me because of my weight, but if he's attracted to my figure, doesn't matter less to him than I assume. Yeah, and I get it because feel like a lot of us here are kind of on like a weight loss journey, but I feel like also we have this idea that how we see ourselves in like our best shape, we feel like everybody else would also agree with us. But everybody's different and everybody likes different things and everybody for some people it's just not totally about the physical as well, you know? I'm kind of one of those people where I don't really have a type. And so, I might be attracted to different shapes and sizes, different types of people. And, I've dated people who are, and some people have varying things like that, which I resonate with. Jan, alone. I know. I was being a bit dramatic. At this rate, we probably I don't have too high hopes for him, especially with him not cutting Em off fully. I don't want to wait forever. I'm trying to move on, but it's hard to completely let go of the hope and idea that he'll realize things. I know, and yeah, sorry, I was a bit dramatic there, but it might happen. It actually might happen. Jasmine. So will I be highly attracted to this person on the highest path, like to the point where I won't feel like gravitating back to the twin flame? Because it takes a lot for me to give up on people. Okay. Yes. It does kind of feel like in the beginning you will be giving it a bit of a chance, like you won't be too sure. But it doesn't feel like that will last very long. It feels like you'll get pretty sure pretty quick. So that's good. Miss Venus, does the twin flame consciously think it's just sexual attraction that he feels towards me and keeps him coming back? No, I don't. I wouldn't agree with that. Although it's definitely a big part, it's a big part, but I wouldn't agree with that as like a holistic statement. A friend did a reading for me yesterday and she picked up that Twin Flame is already in planning mode, like assessing the situation and seeing how he can reapproach me without triggering my resistance. I don't see something similar to that. I'm not going to say that they're wrong or anything like that, but I feel like maybe what they're picking up on is something that's a little bit further down the path. I personally don't feel like he's there quite yet. I I wouldn't say there's no chance of him getting there. In fact, I think there's a very big chance of him getting there. But I just don't feel like it's right. I feel like they've picked up something a little bit more future. So I'm not saying no, I'm just saying I think it's not quite in this chapter. Rain, I feel distance from Hitomi a bit. If it's not about Colin, is it because I stopped drinking and she loves to socialize around drinking? Yeah, I would lean a little bit more to that. I actually would lean a little bit more to that. So I actually am going to jump off now. Let me see. So John, kind of feel too, it's because Adrian has been trying for a while to come back, and even David tried, but I don't want them back or feel moved. I'm like, wow, I used to really want you back before, but now I don't feel any relief or joy in it. So looking back, I don't know if I truly did love them. I just maybe thought I did at the time or wanted to feel loved and desired. Well, I mean, it's good to contemplate that and it's good to know and it's good to understand because as you move forward, you may feel that feeling again. And you might think, okay, so that was more just attraction and that wasn't true love. These are all the lessons of love that we have that can help us to differentiate things. And this is what I talk about when I say that not all lessons are bad, because we have tons of really positive, beautiful, amazing lessons in this lifetime. And a lot of them do come in the romantic connection. And just because it doesn't last doesn't mean that there wasn't very important things for you to learn there. So very likely you're going to now, because you're contemplating these things, you're going to move forward into new relationships with more discernment. So that's nice. And some kind of super, I don't know, I can't see it. Super sticker. Thank you very much. Rain, I greatly appreciate that. My stickers are showing up in dollars now. They used to show up in pounds. Amazing. Thank you. I greatly appreciate you very, very much. Rain, does he like my calves? I get a yes. I do get a yes. You're welcome. You're so welcome. Um, oh, you're welcome, Miss Venus. You're welcome, Rain. Ah, well, this is the first members only stream of the month. So keep, you know, updated, keep looking at the posts and things like that. Because we need to do a second channeling pretty soon. And we need to do a heart chakra crystal ball, and then at least one more normal members. But I was thinking like one or two, and then maybe one or two hearts, because they may be a little bit shorter, so we do a little bit more. But yes, keep updated. I'll post as much as I can. And love, light, and blessings to each of you. I really, really hope to see you soon. I actually think I have to wait for this to load, so I'll do a few more of the questions. I think I have to wait for this to load before I can go. David did a few days ago try adding me back. That's crazy. But yeah, I did think like it would eventually happen. Rain, how is Buryu? I don't know how to say that. Feeling towards me. Now I hardly leave him in owner's yard. Thanks to your advice, but maybe he misses. Oh, maybe he misses the outside. Okay. So how is he feeling towards you? Oh, it's a very gentle and unconditional kind of loving feeling. That's really nice. Jan, will I actually feel fulfilled with D? Do you see it taking me a while to settle in and feel as good as I felt like things were with Caden? Okay. No, it feels like it'll be pretty quick. Actually, it feels like once it happens, it's going to be pretty quick, move pretty quickly. Jasmine, some dark-skinned guy came to me in a dream and seemed like he was shooting a shot. Who was this and what was really going on? Okay. Yeah, so it just seems to be a bit of a premonition. So it does seem like something like this will occur, something like this will happen. So yeah. I love dogs too. Well, I love most animals. I don't know, what kind of dog is it? I don't know if you ever told me. What kind of dog? Yeah, so I'll be going in like 2 seconds. I'm still waiting for this bar to load. Thank you for the likes as well, I appreciate that. A mix. Very cute. Very cute. So I think we have like a minute left. So tomorrow, we'll probably do. I really don't want to do another crystal ball until I have more cards. I know like you guys are like, we don't care about the background music, we don't care about the cards. But I kind of do. I really miss my background music, and I really miss having more cards. So hopefully I get to a spiritual store soon and I can get some, and we can do a better stream, you know? So channeling, well, maybe the next one I do will probably be channeling because of that. Yes, send me a picture. Yes, please. Okay, but yes, I'll keep updated. I'll keep you updated. But do send me a picture. I would love to see. So love, light, and blessings, and hope to see you hopefully tomorrow.